Hello farmers, and welcome back to my channel. This is a place for farm owners, farm lovers, agripreneurs looking for ways to make profit from their farm and also thinking of starting up an agribusiness. This channel is all about profitable agriculture, profitable farming. So if this is the kind of videos you're interested in, then you are the right place. Make sure you check out all our videos, our agribusiness series and farm setup series. Okay, so today I'll be talking about cassava farming. If you've reached out to me before, maybe on phone call, on email, and maybe you've suggested cassava farming, you would notice that in a way I don't always concur to cassava farming. Yes, so today I'll be sharing with you why I stopped cassava farming. You all know I was once into cassava farming. I've shared it a lot on this platform. I will share with you why I stopped cassava farming and what I think you should know before starting a cassava farm. Okay, so if you're interested in today's video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. So one reason I stopped cassava farming was because aside from it being tedious, it was eating my money. I'll be very honest with this video so that if you're thinking of starting up a cassava farm, you could learn as well. Also, I'll be sharing some details that people tend to confuse. I'll be sharing some details with you people. If you're thinking of starting a cassava farm, most people tend to go online, read. Once they are done reading online, they'll say, okay, cassava farming, once you venture into cassava farming, after 6 months, you start earning your money. After this one, you start earning your money. It doesn't work that way. I happen to have luck for a certain period of time, and the period of time is when I harvested. Cassava was scarce, and this same issue happened. This is May. It happened like I think around March or so, when cassava was very scarce and a ton was going for 200,000 naira. Okay, most people might have heard, okay, cassava is going for 200,000 naira, let me quickly go and cultivate cassava. When you harvest, it might be going for 30,000 naira. That is how it is when it comes to tuber. Yes, that is how it is. So before I tell you why I stopped cassava farming, let me share a little bit about cassava farming with you. When I started cassava farming, now when I was still doing cassava farming, I was using all the value chain. I was utilizing all the value chain. That means I was producing starch, I was producing gari, I was producing fufu. Yes, normal akpu. Yeah, for those that are Igbo. I was producing fufu, I was producing tapioca, and at the same time I was selling the peel to people that are into animal farm. So most time I dry it, I sun dry it, I bag it and supply people that are into livestock farming. So I was utilizing all the value chain. But you want to ask, wow, since you are utilizing all the value chain, why do you not stop cassava farming? I stopped cassava farming because I wasn't making my money. Yes, that's why I stopped cassava farming. I have acres of land in Cassava because that was where I was when I started cassava farming. I have acres of land of cassava that I have kind of abandoned in a way. Not that I really abandoned, I have someone that's managing it, but at the same time, I'm not really interested in that aspect again because it's as if I was investing my money, and I'm not even seeing my money back. So that's why I stopped cassava farming. Aside that, there are lots of factors that you need to watch out for in cassava farming. So for some people that think, okay, once I cultivate it, I will carry it, I'll go and sell it in the market. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Then we had a friend that partnered with us as at that period of time. He's outside the country. He's currently outside the country. So he said, okay, since we are wasting the cassava peel, he wants to get rams, goats, so that they will feed on the cassava peel, and at the end of the day, we share the profit. I said, well, no problem. Since we have large acres of land, what are we doing anyways? So he got the goats. So we are feeding the goats with the peel. Aside the peel, I have my formula. So if you need that formula, let me know in the comment section. It won't come for free. So we had the formula I was using to feed those goats, and at the same time, we were not wasting any aspect of it. But like I said, I was only making my money from starch. That was, and gari. The gari that is not smooth, the rough one, that was where I was making more of my money. I wasn't making money from gari itself at all. But people that were making money from gari were people that will come to us. They will buy it in bags and take it down to Lagos to sell. Now you might want to ask, Juliet, you would have taken it down to Lagos too and sell. It's not always easy that way. Do you understand me? You that you've gone through the processing from day one to the final day, and logistics is now an issue. Logistics is now eating more of your money. And then another mistake I made was I was not leveraging on social media. Assuming then I knew what I know now, I think I would still be doing Gary, in the sense that I would have been bagging it. So my target audience won't be general audience. I would have had a specific audience, just like I did for my Grab It. Do you understand? So what I'm trying to say in essence is, I have my reasons for not doing cassava farming, and if you've watched this minute, you understand some of my reasons why I stopped doing cassava. But at the same time, is cassava farming profitable? To an extent, it is. There was no time I said like it wasn't that profitable. But to me, I felt I was not making enough money. Like the energy invested, the time invested, the money invested. It's as if maybe you do something and you're expecting like huge return, and you're just making like peanuts out of it. It's actually not worth your effort. Do you understand? So that's why I stopped. Also, I don't like doing something that I don't have control over. If I cannot control a particular thing, I won't do it. And that's why most times when a client reach out to me and say, Juliet, I want you to manage my farm, I want to go into short-term crops, I will reject those offers, because most times it's not something I can control. I will need you to have workers, and I might be directing your workers won't be doing what I instructed them to do. Do you understand? But if it's a long-term crop, plantain, palm oil, and the rest, it's something that, yes, I can fully manage, even though I'm far away from there. Do you understand? So I stopped also because it wasn't something I was able to manage. I didn't have like full control. When those women decide they will not come today to peel, I have to sit down. And if it's 3 in the night we finish peeling, we'll finish peeling it, we'll sleep at the farm, and like that. So things like that was why I stopped cassava farming. And there are lots of them. Logistics as well. If I say, okay, let me take you to the market. There was a time I and that my friend later got a van that we are using. The money we spent repairing the van because of bad road, a lot of things happened. So I couldn't like keep up. It was too much for me to bear. Also, I had other projects at hand that I was doing. I have my then I was setting up my plantain farm. I had my plantain farm. Then I was working on my cucumber project. I had a lot of projects at hand, and those projects were eating my money. See, you need money in farming. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You need money in farming, except maybe you want to start with other people's money. But if you're starting with your own funds, just like I did, you need money in farming. So most of the projects were eating my money, and I could not like really concentrate on the cassava. So that's why I said, okay, let me abandon it. So that was why I abandoned cassava farming. Also, during the period of time I was into cassava farming, I was also into potato farming. Do you understand? And I noticed that potato was giving me huge amount of money than cassava. Like as potato takes 3 months, and I will make like 50% profit from any acre I cultivate. Unlike cassava that will take like 8 months before I spend all the money I've processed, do this, do that, and I'm making like 10% or like 15%. Do you understand? So that's why I stopped. So if I'm to choose between cassava and potato, I think potato would have been best. So Juliet, if you prefer potato, why are you not doing potato? See, in this life you cannot do everything. I later discovered what works for me, and I'm sticking, or I stuck to what works for me, and that's plantain. Plantain works for me. I could manage my time. It's something I could control. Do you understand? I have workers that when it's time to weed, I'll tell you, go there and weed it for me, and I'll pay you instantly. I don't do staff, and that's why, okay, I'm going to come back to this aspect in my next video, where I'll be talking about when people ask me, why don't you have office? So I'm not the type that hire staff and all of us wearing branded clothes. No. I'm very realistic when it comes to farming. If you think I cannot, or if you think you cannot do this work, I'm going to say, I'm not here for the paper. No. I'll handle the paperwork. You do the work for me, and that's what I'm paying you for. So if you think you don't want to do it, or you want to do shakara, I'll hire different set of people. So that is how I operate, and I found that plantain works for me, and that's why I stuck to plantain farming and other things under. I also do some short-term crops. Like I told you, my pepper is already growing. If you see my pepper farm, it's already growing. So I'm into pepper. I do other short-term crops. I do cucumber, but this year I'm not really cultivating cucumber due to one or two things. I'm not cultivating cucumber, but I do maize. There are lots of short-term crops I do because I need money. I mean, don't you want money? So, but for cassava, I don't do it. So, Julie, what's your advice to people that wants to go into cassava farming? Look for the value chain that works for you. And like I said, do not or don't, because you want to go into cassava farming, think of only producing gari. Now I said it was starch that was giving me more of the money, not gari. So don't be surprised that you will not make money from gari. But currently, right now, cassava is expensive, gari is expensive. This is hot cake period of time for people that has cassava on your farm. This is the right time to convert to gari. At the same time, when you are converting it to gari, make sure you are selling it direct to final consumers. Do you understand me? That gari is very expensive. Now, if you sell it direct to the local market, you will not make enough profit. You will make profit, but compared to you selling it direct to individuals. Okay, so I would advise you to brand it. When I quit cassava farm was when I saw what Golden Penny was doing with gari. Man, I was super impressed because someone has decided to take this thing further, something I never thought of. But when I started thinking of value addition, processing, packaging, it was already like, the zeal has gone off. I couldn't just say, okay, though my cassava farm is still functioning, people are still converting gari, but what I'm doing is, like I said, know your target market. What I'm doing is, once they finish processing it in Asaba, they'll convert it to yellow gari, and they'll send the yellow gari down to the southwest. You all know that yellow gari is more expensive, vice versa. So yellow gari is more expensive in the southwest, while white gari is more expensive over there. Do you understand? So once they finish processing it there, I'll ask them to bring it down here, then we sell it, and that's how I start making money from it. Okay, I hope you got value. I just decided to shoot this video from my heart. I don't know, you can pick one or two things from it and start working on them. Especially if you're thinking of going into cassava farming, look for what works for you. But before I end this video, I would advise you, if you are here, maybe you have a cassava farm and you think you're not making money from it, what I would advise is dish white gari, start converting it to yellow gari. Yes, yellow gari sells more here in the southwest. If you're in the southwest here, yellow gari sells more. But if you are over the east there, if you can allow your gari after grinding it to ferment a lot to produce Ijebu gari, that is what sells more over there. Hot cake. I learned all these things later on, and I'm sharing it for free right now. If you're in the southwest like me here, convert it to yellow gari. A Congo of yellow gari or a pint of yellow gari is selling for 1,102 before gari became expensive, and in this east it was selling for like 400 naira. So you see the difference, 600 naira difference. So just know what works for you. Okay, so if it's starch that you can sell, if it's industrial starch, maybe the one for clothes, like the starch I was producing wasn't the one for clothes, it was edible starch, the one they do used to eat. So if it's starch that works for you, maybe you have clients for starch, you can decide to convert it to starch and start selling. If it's tapioca, gari, all those things, just know what sells more and focus on it, and don't be general person. Okay, I hope you got value. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in my next video.